Right now, somewhere in the world, someone is thinking, I cannot learn English properly because I have no one to practice with. Maybe that person feels frustrated. Maybe they live in a small town where English is rarely spoken. Maybe they believe, if I don't have English-speaking friends or expensive classes, I will never speak fluently. Does this sound familiar to you? Have you ever felt the same way? If yes, let me tell you something very important. What if everything you believe about learning English alone is wrong? Welcome to Haseeb English Podcast. This is the place where we discover the truth about learning English. The truth that can change everything for you. Today, we are going to talk about something very powerful. Something that can change your English journey completely. Listen carefully. We are not talking about finding a speaking partner. We are not talking about joining an English club. We are not talking about moving to another country. Today, we will talk about something different. Something surprising. We will talk about how learning alone can actually help you. Yes, being alone can become your biggest advantage. In this episode, I will show you how. You will understand why some of the most fluent English speakers in the world learned alone. They did not have teachers correcting them every day. They did not have native speaker friends. They were not living in London or New York. And I will also show you why being introverted, being a little shy, can actually be a superpower for language learning. Most importantly, you will learn a complete system. A system that turns your alone time into progress time. A system that helps you move from confusion to confidence. And the best part? This system works for everyone. It does not matter if you live in a small village or a big city. It does not matter if you are starting from zero or you are already at an intermediate level. It does not matter if you have a busy job or very little free time. This method works because it uses what you already have. Your time. Your mind. Your motivation. Before we start, I would love to know something. Where are you listening from? What time is it right now in your country? If you can, write it in the comments. It helps us understand our amazing global family of English learners. Now get comfortable. Grab your tea or coffee. And get ready. Because what you are about to hear can change the way you think about English forever. Why being alone is not a problem. You may find this surprising. Scientists have discovered something interesting. When people spend time alone, they often feel less stressed. They feel more relaxed. They feel free to be themselves. But when it comes to learning English, most people think the opposite. They think, if I am alone, I cannot learn. They think, I need a teacher. They think, I need someone to correct me every time. But is that true? Let us think about something simple. When you were a child, how did you learn your first language? Did you sit in a classroom? Did someone teach you grammar rules from day one? Did you speak perfectly from the first day? Of course not. You learned in a natural way. You listened to people around you. You copied sounds. You tried to speak. You made mistakes. And slowly you got better. And here is the interesting part. You did a lot of this, alone. Yes. Alone. Think about it. When you were a child, you spent many hours talking to yourself. You played with your toys and made up conversations. You practiced sounds when nobody was listening. You repeated words again and again until they felt right. That is how you learned your first language. You learned by trying things. You learned by making mistakes. You learned by figuring things out yourself. But now, as adults, we forget this. When we want to learn English, we think, I need a teacher all the time. I need to speak perfectly from day one. I need conversation practice every single day. And when we do not have these things, we feel hopeless. We feel stuck. We feel like learning English alone is the wrong way. But here is the truth. Learning alone is not wrong. In fact, many of the best language learners in history learned alone. They did not wait for a perfect classroom. They did not wait for a perfect teacher. They used what they had: books, audio, videos, and their own time. They discovered something powerful. When you learn alone, you create a special learning space. A space where you can grow without pressure. A space where you can focus. A space where you can make mistakes without fear. When you study alone, something amazing happens. You develop what scientists call learner autonomy. That is a big phrase. But let me explain it in simple words. Learner autonomy means you take control. You decide what to learn. You decide when to learn. You decide how much to learn. And you decide when you have learned enough. This is like a superpower. When you have this power, you can learn faster than in a classroom. Why? Because you are in control. Not the teacher. Not the school. You. Now let me ask you a question. The real question is not, can I learn English alone? The real question is, am I ready to use the advantages that solo learning gives me? Because these advantages are real. They are powerful. And they can change everything for you. One of the biggest advantages is focus. When you study alone, your brain can go into something psychologists call deep focus. That means you can concentrate completely. Think about a classroom for a moment. You have other students. You have noise. You have the teacher talking to different people. You have people laughing, asking questions, making mistakes. There is a lot of distraction. But when you study alone, there is no distraction. No one to disturb you. No one to judge you. You and the language. And this is very important. Because when your brain focuses deeply, you learn faster. You remember more. You build stronger memory connections. This is something scientists have proved. When we concentrate without interruption, our brain makes stronger neural pathways. That means the language stays in your memory longer. Let me give you an example. Imagine you are in a classroom for 1 hour. How many minutes do you actually speak? Maybe 5 minutes. Maybe less. The rest of the time, you are listening to the teacher talk to others. Or waiting for your turn. Now imagine you study alone for 30 minutes. The whole 30 minutes is for you. You practice speaking. You practice listening. You repeat words. You read. Every second is for you. Which do you think is more powerful? 5 minutes of speaking or 30 minutes of real practice? Of course, 30 minutes for you. That is the magic of solo learning. You can repeat difficult things many times. You can go fast or slow. You can skip the things you already know. You can spend more time on what is hard for you. This control gives you something else. Something called inner motivation. This means you learn because you want to. Not because someone is watching. Not because someone is forcing you. When you have inner motivation, your brain opens up. You enjoy learning more. You remember more. You keep going, even when it is hard. And here is another amazing thing. When you study alone, you start to understand yourself. You discover how you learn best. Maybe you learn better by seeing things, like pictures or charts. Maybe you learn better by hearing words many times. Maybe you need to walk around when you study. When you know this, you can create your perfect study plan. Your perfect environment. Do you like music in the background? Great. Play some soft music. Do you need silence? No problem. Find a quiet spot. Do you like studying in the morning when your mind is fresh? Then study in the morning. Do you prefer the evening when it is calm? Then study at night. When you learn alone, you can do all of this. You can create your ideal learning world. How to maximize your focus. Now you know focus is your big advantage. But how can you make your focus even stronger? How can you make your solo study time super effective? Let me share some simple tips. These tips will help you use your time wisely. They will make your brain ready for English every time you study. First tip: work on one skill at a time. Do not mix everything in one session. Many learners try to do listening, speaking, grammar, vocabulary, all in 30 minutes. That does not work well. Your brain becomes tired. You do not go deep. So here is what to do instead. Choose one main skill for each study time. For example, today is listening day. Only focus on listening activities. Tomorrow is vocabulary day. Only learn new words. Another day, focus only on speaking practice. This is called focused learning. It helps your mind concentrate on one thing and do it well. Second tip: create a study ritual. What is a ritual? It is a small habit you do before studying. It tells your brain, now it is English time. For example, maybe you always make a cup of tea before you start. Maybe you sit in the same chair. Maybe you play the same music before you begin. Why is this important? Because your brain likes signals. When you do the same thing every time, your brain learns to switch into learning mode quickly. Third tip: set up your study space. Make your space comfortable. But more important, make it free from distractions. Put your phone in another room. Close extra tabs on your computer. Tell your family or friends not to disturb you. Act like this is an important meeting. Because it is. It is a meeting with your future fluent self. When you remove distractions, your focus becomes very strong. And strong focus means better learning. Now here is something important to remember. It is not about studying for many hours. It is about studying with quality. There is a famous English phrase for this: quality over quantity. This means quality is more important than the number of hours. You can study for 2 hours and learn nothing if you are distracted. But you can study for 30 minutes with full focus and learn a lot. So do not worry if you do not have much time. If you can study for 20 or 30 minutes every day with deep focus, you will make progress. You will improve faster than someone who studies for hours but without attention. Now, let us talk about another big advantage of learning alone. Something classrooms can never give you. It is called a judgment-free practice space. Your judgment-free practice space. Here is something you cannot find in most classrooms. A safe place where you can make mistakes freely. A place where nobody is watching you. A place where nobody is judging you. This is what learning alone gives you. Your personal, judgment-free practice space. Why is this so important? Because fear stops many learners from speaking English. Fear of making mistakes. Fear of sounding silly. Fear of what others will think. In a classroom, you often wait for your turn to speak. You feel nervous because other students are listening. You compare yourself to others. You think, what if I say something wrong? This fear slows you down. It makes you silent when you should speak. But when you practice alone, this fear disappears. Nobody is watching. Nobody is correcting you every second. Nobody is laughing. You can practice without stress. You can repeat the same sentence 20 times if you want. You can try different accents. You can play with your voice. You can make funny mistakes. And it is okay. This freedom is powerful. Because when you remove fear, you start taking risks. You try new words. You try new grammar. You experiment. And that is how you grow. Now let me share some practical ways to use this freedom. These are exercises you can do every day in your safe practice space. 1. Shadow speaking. This is one of the best exercises for speaking. Here is how it works. Choose a short video or audio in English. It can be from YouTube, a podcast, or even a movie clip. Play the audio. Listen to the speaker carefully. Then, play it again and try to speak at the same time as the speaker. You do not have to understand every word. You do not have to be perfect. Just focus on the rhythm, the tone, and the sound. For example, if the speaker says, "How are you doing today?" You say it with them. "How are you doing today?" This exercise makes your mouth and brain work together. It helps you sound natural. It trains your pronunciation without stress. 2. Emotional reading. Take a short text in English. It can be from a story, a news article, or your favorite book. Now read it in different emotions. First, read it like you are happy. Then, read it like you are sad. Then, read it like you are angry. Then, like you are very excited. Why do this? Because English is not just about words. It is about how we say the words. When you practice emotions, you understand tone. You learn stress patterns. You feel more comfortable speaking with expression. 3. Record yourself. This one is very simple but very powerful. Take your phone. Record yourself speaking in English. You can talk about your day. You can describe your room. You can share your opinion about a movie. Then listen to it. Not to criticize yourself. Not to feel bad. But to notice your progress. You will hear mistakes. That is okay. But you will also hear improvement. And that will make you feel proud. 4. Role play. This is fun. Pretend you are in a real situation. Maybe you are ordering food in a restaurant. Maybe you are at the airport. Maybe you are in a job interview. Speak both parts of the conversation. For example, you. Hello? Can I see the menu, please, waiter? Sure. Here you go. You. Thank you. I will have a pizza. Play both roles. This prepares you for real life. When the real situation happens, you will feel ready. There is a famous English saying, "Practice makes perfect." But in your safe space, the goal is not perfection. The goal is courage. Every time you practice alone, you build courage. You build confidence. And this confidence will help you when you speak to others later. Next, we will talk about another huge advantage of learning alone. Customization. Making your learning 100% personal and enjoyable. The power of customization. Here is something very special about learning English alone. You can make your learning completely personal. You can choose what to learn, when to learn, and how to learn. This is called customization. And it is something classrooms cannot give you. Why? Because classrooms use the same method for everyone. The teacher chooses the topic. The teacher decides the speed. The teacher follows the book. But not everyone learns the same way. Not everyone likes the same topics. Not everyone has the same goals. When you learn alone, you can do what is best for you. You can choose topics you love. You can focus on the skills you need. You can go fast on easy things and slow on hard things. Let me give you some examples. Maybe you love technology. You can learn English with tech podcasts. You can read tech blogs. You can watch videos about new gadgets. Maybe you love cooking. Then learn English from recipe videos. Follow food channels on YouTube. Read cooking blogs in English. Maybe you love fitness. You can watch English workout videos. Read health tips in English. Listen to sports commentary in English. Do you see what happens? When you learn with topics you love, you enjoy the process. You do not feel bored. You do not feel like it is homework. You feel excited. And when you feel excited, you learn more. Your brain remembers better when you like what you are learning. That is why interest-based learning is so powerful. And here is another tip. Match your learning to your daily life. If you need English for travel, focus on travel English. Learn words for airports, hotels, restaurants. If you need English for work, practice writing emails. Practice presentation phrases. Practice meeting language. If you want English for entertainment, dive into movies, songs, and books. Make your study fun. When you learn alone, you can do all this. You can design your own program. You are the teacher. You are the student. Now, let me share one more thing that makes solo learning amazing. You can learn at your own speed. In a classroom, you move with the group. Sometimes it is too fast for you. Sometimes it is too slow. But when you learn alone, you control the speed. If a grammar rule is hard, you can spend 3 days on it. If a topic is easy, you can skip it. You decide. This control gives you freedom. And freedom gives you confidence. There is an English idiom for this. Different strokes for different folks. It means different people need different methods. And that is exactly what you get with solo learning. Now let us talk about another important thing. How to make this learning last forever. Not just for a test. Not just for 1 month. But for life. This is called deep learning. And it is one of the biggest gifts of solo learning. The power of deep learning. Now let us talk about something very important. Something that will make your English strong forever. It is called deep learning. What is deep learning? It means real understanding. It means learning in a way that stays with you for life. Not just for an exam. Not just for 1 week. But forever. Many people try to learn English by cramming. They memorize a long list of words in 1 day. They read grammar rules quickly before a test. And maybe they remember for a short time. But after 1 week, they forget. That is not deep learning. That is surface learning. It disappears fast. Deep learning is different. It takes time. It takes practice. But the results are amazing. When you learn deeply, you can speak without thinking too much. You understand naturally. You remember words and phrases when you need them. So, how do you do deep learning? You do 3 things. Repeat. Think. Use. Repeat means you go back to the same material many times. Not just once. For example, if you learn a new word today, review it tomorrow. Then review it in 3 days. Then in 1 week. Then in 1 month. This is called spaced repetition. It helps move the word from short-term memory to long-term memory. Think means you spend quiet moments thinking about what you learned. You do not just close the book and forget. You take a few minutes to recall the words. You imagine sentences with those words. Use means you try to use the new word in real or practice sentences. Maybe you say it out loud. Maybe you write it in your notebook. Maybe you include it in a short story. When you repeat, think, and use, the language becomes part of you. This is deep learning. Now here is the best part. Solo learning makes deep learning easy. Why? Because you can repeat as much as you want. You can take your time. You do not have to rush like in a classroom. In classrooms, you often move to the next lesson even if you do not fully understand the first one. You do it because the group has to move. But when you study alone, you can stay with one lesson until it feels clear. You can listen to the same podcast 5 times if you want. You can read the same article every day for 1 week. You are free. This is how children learn their first language. They do not study grammar rules first. They listen. They repeat. They use. Slowly, they understand. You can do the same with English. You can create your own English world at home. How? By surrounding yourself with English. Change your phone to English. Watch Netflix in English with English subtitles. Listen to English podcasts while walking. Read short English articles about things you enjoy. This constant contact with English gives your brain what researchers call a rich language environment. It is like living in an English-speaking country, but at home. Here is another important tip. When you listen or read, do it actively. Do not just watch or listen without thinking. Pause sometimes. Try to predict what will happen next. Repeat what you heard. Summarize it in your own words. This active way of learning makes your understanding stronger. Another powerful exercise is thinking in English. Start with simple things. For example, when you wake up, think, I am brushing my teeth. I am making tea. I am going to work. Then move to bigger thoughts. Think about your plans. Think about your feelings. Think about your dreams. All in English. When you think in English, you train your brain to stop translating. You start to feel the language. And that is a big step toward fluency. There is a famous English phrase for this. Slow and steady wins the race. Deep learning is slow. But it works. It makes your English strong for life. Next, we will talk about something very inspiring. A phrase that can change how you see your learning journey. It is called be your own best teacher. This phrase will remind you of your power. Be your own best teacher. Now let us talk about a very powerful idea. An idea that can change the way you learn forever. The phrase is, be your own best teacher. What does this mean? It means the best teacher for your English is not always outside. It is inside you. It is your own mind. Your own curiosity. Your own effort. Teachers are helpful, yes. Books are useful, yes. Videos and apps are great tools. But in the end, the most important person in your learning journey is you. When you become your own best teacher, you stop waiting for someone to tell you what to do. You start guiding yourself. You take responsibility. This is a big step. Because many learners think, I need a perfect teacher. I need a special course. I need an expensive class. But the truth is, you can learn a lot on your own if you know how. So, what makes a good teacher? A good teacher is patient. A good teacher explains things clearly. A good teacher encourages you. A good teacher gives feedback. You can do these things for yourself. You can be patient with yourself. You can explain things to yourself by reading or searching. You can encourage yourself when things are hard. You can check your own progress by recording and reviewing. For example, when you feel frustrated, tell yourself, "It is okay. I am learning. I will get better." When you make mistakes, say, "Mistakes are normal. They help me grow." You can even make your own rules for learning. Like, every day, I will listen to 10 minutes of English. Or, I will write 3 sentences every night. When you follow your own plan, you feel strong. You feel in control. Now let us see how to use this phrase in daily life. When you feel stuck, say to yourself, "I will be my own best teacher." When you want to motivate another learner, say, "The secret is to be your own best teacher." This phrase gives you power. It reminds you that you are not weak without a teacher. You are not helpless without a class. You are capable. You are smart. You can do this. Being your own best teacher does not mean you never take help. It means you do not depend only on help. You learn to guide yourself. So next time you feel alone, remember this phrase. Say it in your mind. I am my own best teacher. This will give you confidence and courage to keep going. The final message. We have talked about many things today. Let us bring everything together now. What is the big idea? The big idea is this. Learning English alone is not a problem. It is a big opportunity. Most people think learning alone means slow progress. They think you need speaking partners every day. They think you need classes and teachers. But now you know the truth. Learning alone can be your greatest strength. Why? Because when you learn alone, you get focus, no distractions. Full attention on English. Confidence, you practice without fear. Customization, you choose what and how you learn. Deep learning, you understand better and remember longer. This is your secret advantage. Your quiet time is not empty. It is your personal language lab. A safe place where you can experiment, make mistakes, and grow. Every time you sit alone with English, you are building something powerful. You are building your future fluent self. Remember this. Fluency does not come from perfect conditions. It does not come from waiting for the right partner or the right class. It comes from persistence. It comes from smart methods. And you have those methods now. Start today. Choose one technique we talked about. Maybe shadow speaking. Maybe emotional reading. Maybe thinking in English. Maybe setting up your study ritual. Just pick one and do it today. Then do it again tomorrow. Small steps. Simple steps. That is how fluency is built. There is another important truth. Every fluent English speaker you see now was once a learner like you. They also felt nervous. They also made mistakes. They also had slow days. The difference is they kept going. And you can too. Because you have something powerful inside you. The ability to be your own best teacher. Repeat this phrase in your mind. Be your own best teacher. Say it when you feel tired. Say it when you feel alone. Say it when you feel stuck. Because this is your superpower. You can guide yourself. You can push yourself. You can help yourself grow. So, embrace your solitude. Celebrate it. Use it. Because in the quiet moments, fluency is born. In the freedom to make mistakes, confidence grows. And in your ability to take control, mastery develops. Your English fluency is waiting for you. Not tomorrow. Not next year. It is waiting for you to take action now. Start today. Start small. But start. And remember, you are not alone on this journey. You have something better than a classroom. You have yourself. And you are your own best teacher.